Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Leap Interview Series. I welcome
Thank you.
Artashes.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah.
Sachin.
Yeah, you have a very interesting journey. Please tell our audience what exactly you do. There are lots of things that you do, I know.
So I am actually pretty much involved in innovative education and e-learning right back from beginning of 2000. In the beginning of 2000, I actually defended my PhD and made my PhD research in UK, in United Kingdom, in the one of the biggest e-learning at open universities in the world, Open University, which is located in United Kingdom. And then I've been invited to Yerevan State University to work as a head of distance learning laboratory at Yerevan State University. So afterwards, in 2014, when the Academy of Justice has been established in the Republic of Armenia as a sole state institution responsible for the continuance and initial training for judges and prosecutors, they invited me to lead the IT and distance learning department. So I was responsible, for introduction and establishment of e-learning solutions for the continuous training of judges and prosecutors in the Republic of Armenia. Based on that experience, also the authorities, especially in the working in the project, in the health project implemented by the Council of Europe, they've decided to promote me and invite me to work in Council of Europe as well, based on that experience.
Wow.
To develop the e-learning and innovative learning methodologies for continuous training of legal professionals for the countries of Council of Europe, for 47 countries of Council of Europe. So I have helped them to develop the guidebook for the training of the legal professionals, and still they use this guidebook for successful development of e-learning solutions in Council of Europe countries in the field of the training of legal professionals. Also, I'm involved in the private sector, in the private business. I have established back in 2018 my private organization, Digilearn Studios, which is responsible for design and development of e-learning and innovative learning solutions for private organizations like banks, institutions working in Armenia. And also I'm heavily involved in the research of innovative e-learning solutions, instructional design, AI in education, and so forth and so on.
Wow, fantastic. That's amazing. So tell us a little bit more about education in Armenia. How does it work?
Yeah, so back in, as I've already told you, back in the 2005, our goal was the democratization of education, because we have received the Soviet kind of education system, which can be considered as closed, and we didn't have anything like distance education or e-learning education or flexible education. Right. At all. So all we had, it was the correspondence education, which was actually came from Soviet era and was developed by the Soviet authorities in order to involve as many people as possible in education, but the quality of education, there wasn't any real methodology behind the successful implementation of education. In contrast to distance education or e-learning, which has the solid instructional design background in order to implement and organize effective education. Yeah, and since then, my main goal was the democratization of education, provision of continuous and lifelong education through e-learning, through innovative learning solutions, and now through AI as well, which is heavily now is involved in education.
Wow, fantastic. So, just tell us a little bit more about the university where you are associated. What kind of courses they have? What sort of degrees they offer?
So I am in the capital of the Republic of Armenia, which is Yerevan. I'm working as you know, in several institutions. I work in the Yerevan State University, which is the main university in Armenia, which has around 15,000 students each year.
Wow.
So this is the biggest university in Armenia, which has approximately 40% of all students studying in Armenia. I also involved in the justice sectors of Armenia. I'm involved, as I've already told you, in the training of judges and prosecutors. I'm also doing my private business for private organizations, and also I'm heavily involved in the research. And just recently, I just also started my podcast, actually, in YouTube, where I summon like the great thinkers from the past, and I'm asking them questions about our current topical issues, which is very, I think, interesting idea and very inspiring idea. Just imagine we're asking, for instance, Immanuel Kant about Elon Musk or Nietzsche about, I don't know, other tech visionary, and it is very interesting to understand how these people perceive from the past through their mode of thinking these current processes. And I think that it is very valuable insights that we are getting from this interview, which can be further actually extended in order to have new kind of content. You see, it's very interesting.
Yes, and absolutely wonderful. So this university, which is the biggest university in Armenia, so they offer a variety of degree courses, I guess, bachelor's, master's, and so on.
Yeah, at the moment we are implementing like certificate 1 year courses in the different field, in the field of social work, in the field of social pedagogy, human resources, public relations.
Right.
Yes, and also we implement pre-PhD courses for international students, the ones who are interested to continue their PhD programs at the Yerevan State University. First, they need to pass this pre-PhD course, which is implemented in English, in order to have an opportunity to be involved in PhD programs at the Yerevan State University in the specific departments. Wow. Yes.
Amazing. So, tell us the role of e-learning and digital learning that you have been quite focused on. And, probably 10 years back, 8 years back, e-learning was something that you had to explain and convince people. Now, I think over last 2-3 years, you don't have to explain to people. People just understand the importance of digital learning and e-learning. Is that right?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure, not only in Armenia, because I'm heavily involved also in international, like meetings, conferences. I have a international work experience of work as well. So I see that the people sometimes, misuse and do not understand completely what e-learning is. For instance, some people understand it as a use of just the online technologies in learning. Let's say we are using Zoom technology, yes, and they are saying that this is e-learning, but it is not e-learning at all, because e-learning is completely different thing. I think it has instructional design background, is that it has a special methodology of organizing and implementing learning, and so on and so forth. So still people back in Armenia, and not only in Armenia, but all around the world, do not understand, for instance, the clear difference between the e-learning, between the online education, between online lectures, and so on and so forth. So I think that there is still some misunderstanding, not only in Armenia, but also all around the world, because I think that the people all around the world have the, let's say, deficit of knowledge about contemporary methodologies of e-learning, of innovative education, and so on and so forth.
So these students in Armenia, do they now have subjects or which are related to digital skills or
skills? I'm sorry, I haven't heard you. Skills?
Digital skills.
Yeah.
Do they have these subjects or this is an add-on subject? Because in many countries today, the regular curriculum teaches traditional subjects. And when it comes to digital skills, AI skills, these are add-on programs that students are given access. So because many of these universities do not have the in-house expertise for these subjects. So what these universities do is they do a collaboration with others who can run certificate programs, and they tell the students to have an additional course or certificate course from the other institution. So is that something that you feel is also useful in Armenia? Because digital skills, digital tools, latest platforms is very important if a student from Armenia wants to make international career.
Absolutely, you are right. So we are in Yerevan State University organizing on regular basis such trainings, not only for students, but also for the lecturing staff, in order to make them understand and make use the different technologies. But what is the most important thing here, and not only in Armenia, but all around the world, that in order to make e-learning and education really engaging, one must develop engaging and motivating courses. This is very important because main courses all around the world, e-learning courses, they are not so engaging, both design-wise and content-wise. So the engagement process is very important. That's why we need to use heavily the instructional design and use creative approach to delivery, to design and delivery of education. Just let me give you one example. Here in Armenia, we use learning management system that you are probably known of, which is called Moodle.
Yeah.
So in the Moodle, most of the lectures are just putting the boring lectures. And the students are not so much engaged in the process because they are just the same lectures that they watch, let's say, in the lecture room. So that's why, starting from 2022 now, we are heavily using AI and instructional design in order to make these courses more engaging, more interactive. And now we are seeing the change in the mind of the students. They see that these courses can be very engaging, can be very adaptive, can be very flexible and available also through mobiles, which is very important.
Yes.
And we also use now heavily micro-learning in order to make it more flexible, because as time goes by, the time actually becoming more and more deficit and scarce.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your insights. One last question. What are the challenges that the university in Armenia are facing right now? And how do you suggest those challenges can be overcome?
I think that there are different challenges in Armenia. I think that science, the investments in the field of science need to be, and both education, in innovative education, need to be expanded, because I think that in comparison with some developed countries, we tremendously suffered in this regard. And also we need to make people, the wider auditorium, the wider audience, to understand that henceforth, there is no such thing that education can be complete. Education, it's a non-stop, it's a lifelong process, and each day you need to study. And this is something that needs to be integrated and needs to become a habit. Needs to become a habit for everybody.
Yes.
Education, it is not something that can be completed. It is a truly lifelong process. And this is something, and now we are actually trying to make this process more engaging and more motivating in order to engage. And we are using heavily the different sources of science, the neuroscience, cognitive science, and instructional design to make this process more optimal and more effective.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, it was great talking to you. And thank you so much for sharing all your insights, your views. And of course, I need to thank you for your contribution to the education and making things better for the people in Armenia. And we would like to see you at international stage somewhere representing Armenia and probably helping Armenian students to make international careers.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your invitation. It was my pleasure to talk to you. I am really thrilled to share my experience with the international partners, and I truly enjoy this. Thank you.